I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA Review. Today is June 1st, Monday, 2026. Hope you had a good day, good weekend. And yeah, let me try to make this short if I can. But we talked about this prior. Talked about this first initial. When was this? I made this example in YouTube in May 26th, I think. Yeah, and then you could see us, pushing up for some drives and then coming back down and then pushing back up. Moving forward from there, we talked, and then this is the result. So as you can see, the drives up, the retrace back, and then the push back up. Okay, and then this is the result. What did we get? We had those drives up here. We did pull back, but guess what? We never went into that previous week's gap. Okay, we used that 50% of the daily bullish and balance. This is the end of the month and the beginning of the month, so I'll just kind of go over through most of it, right? And then obviously closing as bullish month. But then you can see I drew this on Thursday. Did not make a video on Friday because I was busy, but beautiful day as well. And take a look. What did I say on Thursday? We come up, retrace back, and then make another high, and then retrace down for the liquidity. Well, we did all this except for coming any lower than here. We stopped here, and then we made a new high. So that's what I was saying in the beginning of the end of the month. In the beginning of this month, we were going to have that situation. So this all panned out. If you want to take a look at it. And then now take a look at this. Just trying to show you that you can't make this up. There it is, baby. Look, this is the video on Thursday. Friday, what did we do? We popped up. We retraced. We never went lower here, but we stopped. And then we made a new high today in Asia. And then we came back and we still didn't break a fucking low again. And then we bought up for a new high. So if you see that and then you see this, okay, just drew it lower, just drew it lower. But what's the point of what I'm saying? This is seasonality, and I'm maneuvering around that. And I can still find situations every day. Oh, and I'm not sure if I remember, I think I forgot, but I have mentioned this before. I had this whole thing graded. I'll just show you on the weekly, really. Right here, from this low to this high, and then I have it here, 25, 50, 75, and then the big fucking one figure, standard deviation. What are we laying on? We're laying on it now. I mean, we laying on it. Now, I know I put this in the video. I know I put this in the videos. You don't see it on the, I didn't transfer it to the weekly, but I had it on the daily, and I just recently transferred it to the weekly so you could see it because I knew this issue. And then on the 26th, coincidentally, I didn't have it fucking on the daily. So I put it in literally after this video, I believe, and totally ruined that understanding. But I know I did it, and I know I've talked about it already, but it was on the daily, and the daily was always like this. So now I put on the weekly because you can fucking see it. Anyways, that was the point of my conversation of when I'm drawing these examples pushing up, I understand I'm going for a whole full swing, right? And I'm just using that as an understanding, and that's it, man. And there's not really much to say there. So if I can move fucking forward, you'll see that here we have the big 50 level in this dark red here. That was a previous high on Wednesday of last week. Remember, we busted through it, and we busted through it, in Friday's price action, and then we came up, made it high. We sweep in that area a little bit, playing around, and then we bounce all the way back up. And then I'll get into the conversation, but this is very key for the rest of the video. All right, that being said here, I also want to say going into the opening range, the opening range gap grid, you can see this is Thursday. So I didn't make a video Friday, so I discussed all this. So we, basically pretty much like these all-time highs and whatever. So Friday, we had a little speaker there. It was a bullish day. And then 9:30 opened up immediately. So it's a buy, sell, buy, and then it just kind of froze. And then it's just the end of the week. So if you do the fib from the low of the week here, where is this here? This was the low of the week, wasn't it? Of last week. And then let me just do this real quick. So when we pushed up, coming back down into what? Right in between 20 to 30%. If I eyeballed it, we call this an event horizon. So it's literally like in between those levels, you can see it just stops right there. So if this is 20 and that's 30, then let's just say this is 25, right? Isn't this a 20, right? Or did I put 10 there? Yeah, it's 20. Oh, I put 40%. Okay, that's right. I have two different fibs, but I do it two different ways. But if I was to add a 30 here, you'll see it make more sense. So let me just put a 0.30 real quick. And then this will all make sense. There you go. All right, so there's your 30 and beautiful, right? So and so the higher probability is between 20 and 30 anyway, and then that's explaining that once we push up for all-time highs here and we're ramming through Wednesday's high, that's that 50 that I was talking about. It all makes sense in a second. Well, once we push up, obviously people are pushing by and then we're coming right back down and then we're settling in here. Right, so I've got that dragged out today, this current opening range, I'm sorry, Friday's opening range gap. So we made all-time highs here. We gapped up. We pushed. We went right a hair above Friday's above 50s top band here, and then pushed up, and then 9 o'clock. Well, almost pre 9 o'clock. Yep. And then it just sold off. And to hunt all this liquidity, did not take out these guys right there. That being said, here we have 9:30 here, and we push all the way up for those easy sellers that we're pushing down and then selling from here, coming down. Are we going to make a low and go through, or are they going to be little bitches and stop? Well, they were little bitches and stop and they made a new high. Why is that possible? Because in the seasonality, you see it me going through in the example, which we did all this, but we stopped here. Well, once we get here, we have other options and ideas, and if it doesn't go through, then it will make another high. So, and that's exactly what we did and what I'm trying to say. So you'll see how I maneuvered around that logic and bought eventually. So, and then today you'll see in the 5 here. All right, pushed up, took out easy seller, made equal lows. I hate when they do that. I never understood why they would make that right there or be so big. That's just so silly. So silly. They could do something totally better with that. And then you can see the one here. So when we were dropping down pre even 9:30 here, this is the point of this here, is that we're coming down, we sweep it, we come back in. Look how we sweep that level. That is the 9:30 level of Friday. It's just very key because the imbalance is getting that imbalance right here. This becomes an inversion later, but we don't know if it's an inversion yet. But the point is that look how they sweep it. Look how that structure is getting formed there. We tag and then we make a new low. Okay, this low, I'll get back into the grid, but this low, very ugly price action. We then sweep, then we push above, and then we go over a bearish imbalance. I'll get into it in a second. But the point is that we were using the rest of the algo. So if you look at present. So look at 9:30's candle in the 1 minute. You can see that we ran to the 50, came back, and then we popped up right to the top 8th and came back to this 25. Look at the bodies. Look what I'm showing you here. I'm not just fucking rambling here. So these videos take a long time for me to do. So don't be getting impatient over there. If you are, I'm not saying you are, but if you are, fucking grow up. But pushing up here, coming right back to the 50% here. This is matching this. See how we're matching that 25 and this 50? So this is also confluence, and then we pushing up, right? We squeezing the guys to the left. We're taking out this buy side liquidity here. Then we're pushing back down to what? Take out that low, squeeze out buyers, or continue. If it doesn't fucking continue, then we're going to probably get something like this. And this is what sucks, right? If you're in the sell or if you're in the buys. But how can I maneuver? I'll show you how you end up maneuvering and still accomplishing the goal. Because I understand the average daily range, I'll get into in a second. Let me get off this chart. The average daily range is 430 points today, I think. So, here you'll see that, you know, at the present time of high, here this is a 15 minute. So this is Asia high. Look at all the liquidity right there too. So what's the high here? This is 5, let's just say 600, 30,600. And the low here, when we made that low here, we were at 300. So it was only a 300 point range. So do you see the extra 100 something points on the top or below? At first I thought it was below. So you'll see how I end up selling and then was, you know, taking the profit and being taking losses here to try to sell it, and then being a buyer once I got some confirmation here. But that is going to frame how I'm getting the buys up here. Notice the midnight level is going to be key in this conversation. And then we also have the current week gap. So the issue with any model or whatever you're thinking is going to happen today, if I had nothing on the chart, I'm going to ask who made money last. That's the kind of thing I'm going to go to in my protocol. But in general, when we have a current week gap and we're at all-time highs, we're starting a new week. A new month. Well, I know, new week. And we're starting a new seasonality. And this is what the whole point of where I'm going with this. We're going to get shakeouts. We're going to get speakers. We're going to get, people are making decisions based off of the fucking current week gap. So once it's swept, they started buying. So then we came below. Once we came below, they started selling below it. Once we come below it, they want to buy and go above it. Or vice versa. They just want to keep going away from it. You know, we have all that going on here. So I'm aware of that. And now I can start the video. Okay. So, that being said, let's go to this here. All right. So that all being said here on this grid chart, you can see that I have, oh shit, I can't draw on it until I click on it. Okay, so this right here is how I take this trade. I'm expecting this day to be a pump and a dump, right? So lower, we've already came down aggressively. What they are doing here, and this is very key to understand, and then you know and experience, when they do this dropping shit, either obviously two things are going to happen. Either it's going to keep going, or they're inducing the feeling of, damn, I'm missing out on selling. And that's as simple as that. And that's what they did here, okay? And it worked, and it does work, period. But I can still be a part of it. I was never going to buy this, though, but I'll just let me finish with the video. So I understand that where I am on this grid, we popped up here, and we're hitting that upper 32 right there, and then that little level. And then we're in between this 8th and this, we're in between this 62 and this big 75 level. So this bullish look at the lower highs here that they're creating here. So you're like, well, they're going to attack it, or they're not going to attack it, blah, blah, blah. So in my understanding for the seasonality of what I'm saying, I know I'm going to be bearish, looking for a dip back down. That's why I keep drawing these fucking examples here. Okay. Notice how they all have that pullback. Notice how they all have that pullback, right? So even when you get a pullback and then you get this shit, this is all the month of June. We haven't done it yet still. So I expect that. All right. So that being said, where the hell was I? So the reason why I'm saying all that is because I understand we can get a flush here. So you have this liquidity here in the all-time highs. Fine. Here, when the price shoots down and I see this bullish inversion, it's a balanced price range with this bearish. I didn't draw the bearish. I draw the bullish one. Well, 930 is now here. So, you know, I'm not going to push buy here, right? To come back for a lower high. I'm going to let it play out, and I'm going to expect it to push back up to wipe out easy sellers, to then sell to come and make a low, or to wipe out the buyers here. That was the game plan, and I took that beautifully, and I'm showing you how I did it. So when we pushed up here, and I took losses today, so plenty, and I will explain them. Here, when the price shoots down up in here, and I know we're at this 50, so I'm like, okay, well, they want to come up and sweep. This is a breakout area. Does it want to come up here, or does it want to come up here? At this point, I try to take this sell, a little eager, and we just came back up to a breakout area. It made perfect sense. Rejection on the thing, on the fucking levels, and then I'm looking at it like we're sweeping above this 50%, because anyone who's making a decision here, see that, see these are static levels here, right? Forget the level, forget the grid. I'm talking about the static, like, swing high here. When it goes above, they're constantly buying. They're using that as a buy, right? So we're coming back below to get underneath that. Does it keep going, and does it come back up to sweep because the person said, okay, we're fucking, once we go below this swing high right here, I'm gonna sell, which is this price action here. It does. And then they do this, and I'm like, oh, you little bitches. So they tag that 50%, and then they come to this bottom 32. This obviously engulfs, and it goes up, and I'm like, okay, I thought they were going to use this to sweep this guy because they put it there and then come down. I didn't get that. What did it do? It came back up. I said, okay, you're going to come back up again with some drives. Fine. We're going to take out this guy right here, this little liquidity guy right there. And then we're going to tap in to that bullish inversion, a bullish turn inversion. So we do that. We're tapping in here. Snipe and get me. Sniped in it again. Hit the 50%. As soon as it snapped, look at the body stopping here. I said, okay, great. Tags it. Boom. My stop loss is, I'm leaving the stop loss here. The stop loss is a hair above the 50%. Here is the first imbalance that I'm using here. And then you can see it working very well when the macro kicks in. This is like 950 right there. And then you can see that I'm projecting here on this chart coming down. Where? Well, I got the -2 to 2.5. I've got it circled. I've got the green here with the level there. Look how we tag it on. We hit it perfectly, and we tagged the motherfucker. So, okay. And the -2, I said, that's not a good sign. And we're on an oversold. I said, okay. And then this would be a great area for, if it was to keep going, I would like to see it. But to get to this 3.5 to 4, which is also in this band here with this, I thought it was a sell model happening here, and then we could come into this low here. They did not do that. That's why I have it in blue, because of the fact that I don't have to have this trade come there, but I do want it to come here. And sure enough, we're now in a -2 to 2.5. It can obviously stop and never get here. That's what they did. So now we're going to go through the rest of this video, and it irks me that it takes this long to explain things, but it does. But the thing is that there's no other way to do it. As you see, we pushed up here, and then, what was I going to say? And then you can see us just going through the quad there, sweeping. Just look at it. I can't go through everything here. And then obviously coming into here, and then look at that. They tagged underneath that 930, and then fucking dangled the carrot by equal lows. And then I think that's all I need to say here. Come on. Move it. And then at that time, okay, so at that time, this is the decision that I was making. We had a lower high in NAS. And then, yeah, we had a lower high in NAS. And then when this made that low, that's why I was thinking about buying it, and I just decided to sit back and be patient, let it pump and dump. Lower low to a lower high is what I'm trying to say. They had a divergence here, and it pushed up beautifully, and I was like, motherfuckers. And then they had so we had that divergence, and we had that bearish inversion that we just pushed over, which I'll go back to. So that pushed it up. Once we got here, it was very fucking clear that we had a divergence on NAS up here, and that they were down here and they were weaker. So I said, okay, that's beautiful. Let's go. Right. And then you also had a divergence here. I could have drew it here with Dow. See how Dow is a lower high from this guy right there? And this is a higher high here, and then this is also high. So I didn't draw it, but I'm telling you now. So, and that was the purpose of this fucking trade. Okay, cool. Let's go. Let's keep going here. And then this is the main chart here. You could see that, I mean, you know, pretty much. And then this is me thinking, okay, well, if you're going to keep going, let's go through. And guess what? They did not. Okay, so because why? Because these down candles are still holding this price action. Okay, and then this price action is still technically holding this price action. There is no change of delivery here. These candles are still bullish. So I'm expecting for it to roll through, but if it doesn't, there's a chance that it doesn't, and this is what it looks like when it doesn't. Beautiful. Okay, so let's now move forward, because that's very key in this understanding. Yes, I'd like to anticipate and think what's going to happen, but this is still holding. Look at the candles. They're still in control. That's a 4-hour, by the way. Moving forward, here is the next trade. Now I got it squeezed up a little bit. As you can see, what do they do here? Okay, so I've already, everything to the left is still there. And then now I have, well, okay. So before I get there, we tag on it. You saw me taking the screenshot here, and this is a 32. So this is not also a random place. I said, okay. And then guess what? This is where you don't want to see if you're selling, obviously. You don't want to see this candle right here, this bullish candle. See how it's pushes straight up and goes into that bearish imbalance. By the way, the initial buy, that was the bearish imbalance I'm talking about, obviously. So it's sitting there, and you can see that when 9:30, we pop, look at the body sitting right there, last down candle. This was, you know, they do this little, see this price action right? They do this on purpose to kind of freak you out, and it does work, but it really is just, they're just trying to look tough, right? Like, especially with this last, you know, down strong candle, no wick or nothing. That's all just part of the show. But anyways, this right here, beautiful buy, and then I wasn't involved. So it's okay. So it popped up. I was trying to look for sells. So it popped up, and then you can see us getting here, and then now get into this conversation here. Remember, the average daily range, it's either going to be the extra 100 points up here, or it's going to be the extra 100 points down here. Remember, I'm still remembering that. So that's part of the show, and I'm not forgetting the plot of the movie. So look at the candle specifically, that bullish candle. You don't want to see that, first of all. Come back in. It should have immediately rolled over. Then number 2 sign. See this little bearish candle right here where it stops and makes the bullish imbalance? That's my point of candle 1. I don't want to see that because it looks like a bullish imbalance. Candle 2 creates that bullish imbalance. Now it's like, okay, well, I don't want to see that either. Candle, so that's 1, 2, and then 3. And then, so the next candle dips into it and then closes up here. That's not what you want to see if you're selling. And you're going to say, well, they're just making a lower high before they come and make the new lower low. Yes, that's fine and everything, but no, you want to see a low first, then come back up. So this is the signaling of, we have maybe the wrong bias, but it's still too early. That's okay. All right, taking the profit out, and then we get another swing high here. Now we're using this bearish inversion as well, tagging it, popping right back up into here. Then I tell myself, okay, I'm married to selling still, right? Just keep in mind. Then I try to get in here, and boom, comes up, body stop right here. I said, okay, they wanted to break out area. This is still in control. We swept this one more time, and I read it wrong. Well, it doesn't mean I read it wrong. We don't know what they're going to fucking do. So that's the part of this conversation. So then guess what? It fails, and it pops up again. It's, Then we got a bullish imbalance with this bearish. This right here is showing you that it's buying, but I don't have confirmation, and I'm not buying here. I don't have confirmation here again. I've already took some losses. I'm not gonna fuck around. Okay, so but with this coupled together, and it's on that 50 again. Okay, now the light bulb pops and says, well, maybe we're bullish, buddy, and you fucked up. Okay, cool. Slowly up and down, up and down. Right here, when all of this is happening, I am not going to sell because I know we're bullish, but I'm not also going to buy because look at it. Fucking fuck that. No way. So guess what? I have this projected here. You have the 1 and 1.5, the 2 to 2.5, the 3.5 to 4. At this point, I also on the left, I just have it only on this time frame, the 5 minute. This projection is only on the 5 minute. It is not over here on this chart. On this is the 1 minute chart, and this is also the 1 minute projection that I've got highlighted. So these are two different. What I have here is I have a negative half. I'm sorry. I have a half standard deviation up, and then obviously, which you can't see on the screen, and it would be an all-time high, would be the -1, which is what I use in the next trade. Just follow me here. Because now I understand that we're going, that extra 100 points for the average daily range will be up here. Okay, cool. Now that we understand each other, I'm missing the boat here. And then I have that first imbalance. This right here is going to, look how I enter with this. Now, initially, I tried to enter in this imbalance. Okay, and then they fucking stopped me out with this guy right here. I said, you fucking bitch. Yes, I should have my stop loss here, but I don't want to be involved if it's coming any lower. So guess what? Wicking me out. I said, oh, you little bitch. Makes a new high. Right there, I was like, okay. High or low? I was like, okay, it just looks pretty strong right here. And it stops. And it stops on its fucking track. Okay. Yes, it can come outside of itself here. Right. But the actual low in the protective stop loss is right here. You will get burned if you put it on that second candle, generally speaking. But notice how the bodies, they relatively stay back up here. Okay, it wasn't pretty, but it is what it is. But I'm saying all that to say this here. It's not coming here, but I also don't want to come it below. Yes, it can tag this 32 that I have here, but anyways, I'm cheap with it, and sure enough, they're coming too deep. I don't want to be involved. They give you this bearish and bullish strong body candles, and then this happens right here. This bullish candle engulfs that candle, and it's back inside the first imbalance. I am still using it. Where's my fucking entry? So then we get this candle that goes above it. Boom. It goes above it and it closes. Finally, you're going to say, well, that happened here. Yeah, it did. And it failed. But now it did it again right here. So I'm confident. I've already got shook out. I've already understand what the motive is. We're not up here to come back down. That ship has completely sailed, and I'm showing you where my target is right here, which is what? The 3.5 to 4 coupled with this 32 here, and then this 16th. Very specific about the 16th. And what am I doing getting in here? I am wiping out the fucking run on liquidity here. Look it to the left here. All those lower highs here, I'm running that, number one. Well, because I thought they were going to run this liquidity here, right? But so I'm running that. Plus, if you look to the left, that's a breakout. So you have it's a trifecta. You have liquidity, you have imbalance, and you have a breakout when we bust through that low. Okay, and that's exactly what I'm targeting in this model. So now in this, it's not a pump dump model. It's a buy, sell, buy, and it has always been. But it's an ugly buy, sell, buy. It's a buy, sell, buy. But I call this a shakeout buy, sell, buy. So the buy, sell, buy will do a number of things. It will just buy immediately, sell, and buy a nice, clean structure, trend day, beautiful. That's the best case scenario. Second case is that it just shoots up straight and then buys, sells, and buys. Okay, fine. Option 3 is it buys first, sells down below the low that they made at 9:30, and then buys again. So I call it a shakeout buy, sell, buy. And that's what this fucking is. Why? Because it's Monday. And because of all the other shit I've explained. Please don't tell me this is long. 28 minutes. Okay, I can deal with that. Maybe. So here, we get this closure above this candle right here of the first imbalance in the green. And then this little one, this little candle dips onto, look where my entry is. Do you see where my entry is? Can you notice where it is? It's laying on that 16th. Why? Because because that first imbalance is laying on that 16th. Well, it's underneath the 16th, but it's on it. It's perfect. Oh, it's algorithmic. But here, the logic is, came up and it bounced on top. I'm immediately pushing sell right there because I don't expect it to whip down anymore. I've already got it already damaged here enough times. Fucking off, okay? And by the way, that this is this 32 I said. So anyway, just look at this shit. So then it immediately, when I buy it, pushes up, retraces, and now it's higher, higher, low. Boom, you get the run. Perfect. Right where I'm going. Fucking finally. I said, okay, so all the losses and being wrong and but still taking profit and maneuvering and being flexible and understanding where the price. I mean, I don't know what else I could tell you as a day trader. And predominantly, I have many models. I have like 40 models actually. And predominantly as a discretionary trader, you can call it even freestyle trader. At one point, when you have so many models, you are a freestyle trader, but you are guided and governed under those models. So, and I understand what they look like when it fails, and I understand what I look like when I'm wrong, and it's a different model that appears. That's what this is. That's exactly what I'm doing here. I know it's not a pump dump and it's not going to sell. I know it's a buy, sell, buy. If I didn't know anything, right? If I didn't fucking know anything and nothing was on the chart, I understand that once this is making higher lows here like this and squeezing, and then up here we start to, now we're busting through. We're making the new high. Where's the next retracement and higher low? Oh, that's where we're going to get into the last trade. Hope this is all making sense for you if you are new. And as you can see from here, I couldn't really highlight the 1 minute well. You can see the 5 minute here, the top 25% respecting the bodies, but then we're reaching into that 50% of that opening range gap of today. Look at how we bounce right there on the 1 minute. That's very beautiful right there. And then we're bouncing on the settlement level there. And then that's what I understood here, right? Coupled with all that, just take a look on your own, and then that's really this conversation. And then come on. At that time, now we're going back into this conversation here. I didn't draw it. I drew it there, but there was no divergence here. Also, and this is the reason why I wasn't kind of fucking with it. We had equal. So this is one thing I do teach, and I have mentioned it on this channel plenty of times, that when you get an equal low like that with one of the assets, it's kind of like a divergence. It's their funny way of saying it's not a divergence, but it's like a divergence, right? And go back to this, you'll see this. It's on the rarer side though. So when you see that, and you remember that I said this today, and you usually see this with S&P, but Nas did it today, and we had an equal low. But we had higher lows here, and we had higher lows with Dow at the time. Then, my friend, here, right here, is when Dow makes a lower low, and we have higher lows here, and we clearly have higher lows here. And if you take a look at my logic here, I see that. And I said, okay, we're going to look for that buy. Okay? And that's how I am also making this decision of buying late up there. You're going to say, well, dude, you normally don't do something like that. No, I don't. But because I understand, so that's happening in this situation right here. Dow makes a lower low here, and we're here. So that conversation, I understand we're running this liquidity. And I understand what we're just going to be momentuming up, kind of in a way. See, they're slithering. I call this slithering or birdieing up. If we're going up, we're birdieing up right here. See that? And that's what this is, and that's why I knew exactly how I expect the price to look like this. I expect it to break out slowly, slither, and then cross over. Okay, I'm expecting that. You can't make that up. So guess what? It performs that way, so that's why I'm still holding. If you're wondering how can you still hold it, that's how I'm holding it, because I expect that price action. Okay, and then back to this. You can see I still had this. I was still buying, and I left this there. I never changed it. But anyways, look what we're doing. We're below the current, above the current week gap, right? Okay, and they were doing this with the 930 the same way, because the 930 is a stagnant level and people are buying up the 930. It's coming underneath, we're selling it. Oh, it's coming back, we're buying it. And they can't shake us off, bro. They can't shake us off. There's nothing else I can tell you. So that being said here, this right here is how I also bought. Because I can see all these happening at the same time. And I can see that this is, look at the wicks. It's a 5 minute chart here. But usually a 1 minute on this screen here. But you can see what I'm saying. We're above the fucking current week gap, and we're buying it. That's it. Nothing else to say there. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Move forward, bro. Okay? Okay? Oh, you don't say. Yes. Yes. I got they fucking ass. Yes. Watch how we do it. See this right here? Didn't I just take it to right there? Okay, cool. That's the internal high. That's at that negative half standard deviation up. When we got here, I was actually done. It's 11:30. Retracement for what? London close. And lunch hunts some liquidity. And did I say it in the other? Oh, I didn't say it in the other. Oh, yeah. Well, this was the big piece. I forgot to say that bullish, when I sold from, the bullish inversion, I still used it here. So what I'm doing is before we go above it, I'm already entering because I'm using this algorithmic levels that I talked about. But when we're going above, I dragged it over because listen, they build structure based off of these algorithmic levels. The structure that you think you see or what they end up doing is based off of these levels. So we're reclaiming this bullish imbalance. That bullish imbalance on this 5-minute is a very high probability imbalance. Why? Because it is laying on that quadrant, on that 32. See that? But what's also important, if I didn't even have that in the background, what I obviously know is that this bullish imbalance, you can use the bearish one too because they're balanced price range. I'm just using the bullish one. So the point is that we're reclaiming. Well, look how we reclaim. I can't believe I almost forgot this. So sold from it though. And then once we're going above it, I know it's going to be used as support. So we come above here. There's a little bullish imbalance right there. I've got it highlighted on purpose. We stretch into the reclaimed bullish imbalance. It gets reclaimed. And if you said you used the bearish, fine, that's fine. It becomes an inversion there though. Instead of me using, when I sold from, you can say, oh, I sold from the bearish imbalance. But now when we're above it, I'm using the bearish imbalance as an inversion and it's going to be used to support. You wouldn't have been wrong for either one of them. That's my point. But I'm dragging it over on purpose. This is very, very clear. And then it holds. You don't fucking say. This is manufactured, by the way. You see this? See this price action right here on the RSI? This is all manufactured. Buyers and sellers didn't do that. That's a program. Okay. I almost forgot before I continued. Because it's going to make you understand what I did here. So, okay, price pushes up here. I told myself sell it. I said sell it for what? This is a breakout area. I brought through the breakout area. This was a breakout area. Look on the fucking 5-minute right here. We pushed right through. This is all imbalanced right here. We pushed right through. It was easy selling. Easy buying. I bought it. Okay. I said, sell it. Come down and wipe these guys out. I didn't do it. I was actually sitting back and done. Guess what? It comes back. You get this funky shit here. Look how it's bouncing in between. It starts to stretch down. We get to an oversold. We have wiped out the late buyer. If someone didn't know it was, if someone thought it was still going to sell here at this time, okay, fine. But once it popped up here, which I was already a part of, remember? But once it popped up here, you know it's buying. My dude, it's above that fucking high. That's why they came back down here. What did I do? Well, first of all, I took a loss here because I was a little, hard. If you understand what I'm saying. That's a swing high right here. And I was like, look at this beautiful imbalance. I'm like, oh, you fucking bitches. So they came back to retrace. I thought we were going to use this to push up. And it's a big figure level. I said, okay, fine. Guess what? And they faked the funk here. And they pushed up and they still came down. I was like, oh, you little bitches. So they came down. So I took losses here, trying to snag it. Then I snagged it with this last raid here. And I'm using this level with the current bullish imbalance that I'm using, that I have it all the way dragged out, and I snag them. And guess what? I take this trade above the 16th and the first imbalance. Why did I do that? And you're like, well, why did you do that? And you thought it was going to come back and hit this. I thought it would have. And in a perfect world, it would. But actually, in a perfect world, it should not. Why? Because that would be just way too fucking easy and obvious too, right? So I'm snagging them. I got all the confluence I need. This is just a retracement from now internal high, new high, not an all-time high or new high, but and then a retracement for a higher low. I snag them. I get the three. I end up getting the 3 candles. Look at the reversal. Beautiful. I'm just buying it on this level. Look at the 5 minute here. Look at the 5 minute right there. Look at the body stopping right there and then reversing. I know if you forget the 1 minute because it's noisy. If you look at the 5 minute here, you'll see that I have it in balance right there. I didn't drag it out, but we tag them. I'm watching the 5 minutes stretch into that imbalance. Am I going above and beyond for people here? Maybe so, man. Maybe so. That's why my videos are fucking long. Yeah, because I'm just like a fucking nice guy. Do you think I'm at my other job working or something? Do you really think that's what I'm doing? No, man, I'm at the crib. Okay? All right, and I've been at the crib for years. Okay? So I make these videos. So this is what I was talking about right there. You see that? See that? See, I know we're tagging in it. We're tagging in it right there. Beautiful. Okay? I don't have it drawn. Sneaks right outside. I'm already pushing buy. All right, I have a 15-second chart to the bottom left that you can't see. So I'm looking at that as well, and I can't get into this anymore because this is just insane how long this video is probably going to be. But this is how I'm catching it. Yes, I'm taking losses. I take losses. I don't care. I took a loss on every fucking trade I took. Guess what? I don't care because I'm sniping in their miniature, and then I understand exactly where I'm going. So once we take this buy, I can't make this up. So where am I going? I have this circled right here. Where is that? Well, obviously a new time high because the previous all-time high is right there in Asia that we made, which is sitting on that 32 right there. You see that? Underneath the 75%, big red. Okay. Well, I'm letting it fucking dance its way up there. Tags the red. Look how it tags it first. I said, oh, no. We're still going to go up one more. Why? 2 reasons. One, because they're not going to just stop right here. Could have that? Yes. But generally speaking, when they're going to sell and make we just took out the all-time high. So the reason why I'm saying that is because once they make a high, I expect another high to be formed because there's always a second drive. Just like this. Always a second drive down. Just when I sold, always some more drives up. Just when we sold down, always a couple drives down, and then they came up. Right? My point is that we're going to make a new high after this, and I decided to hold. Soon as it did that, I get this big stupid candle. Why do you think they did that? Bro, because it's algorithmic. It's telling itself, hey, we're here, shoot up straight for it. And then they tried to not let me get out. I was like, oh, you little bitch. But watch my understanding. What did I say here? What did I say was here? The 30,600 figure. So what did I say? I was going to try to reach above 100 points higher. What did it snag? Isn't that almost a 30,700? Oh, so now it all comes back full circle, right? So what does it do? It shoots up with this stupid candle. By the way, I hit this because above the all-time high, and then this is the big figure 75, and then right there, the next one is 32. That was it. That was all I really wanted to do, and I got some more. It pushed up, went to the 16th, pushed up, and snapped back down. I said, oh, you little bitch. I said, I got you. You know what that means? What this means is that when they do this, if it's FOMC or some crazy shit, then they'll shoot it all the way down. But that's not that day today. So what did they do? They locked the price. Once they pushed it up and they locked it, you're like, oh, fuck, it's selling. And then they slowly bring it up. That's when I am trailing. After we hit this level and above it, now I'm trailing every 1 minute candle. Okay, watch. Ready? Hold on. Oh, you see where I put it. Oh, stopped out. Come on, baby. Are you ready? Okay. All right. And then this is not helpful. We're already above that. And then here you had a nice, where I bought, by the way, before I even continue, this is also in the picture here. You had a lower low here with Dow. So I'm sitting here, I'm looking for a divergence. Okay. Also, you get the divergence here with Dow. It's a lower low here. Just so you see it. See that candle? That was the low of NAS and the low of S&P. But that was not the low with Dow. So yes, I'm still in, but this is that confirmation. Beautiful. Right there. See that? Okay. Move forward. And then the midnight level is, didn't I? Wait, did I forget to say that in the second trade? Yeah, because that was supposed to say that in the second trade. Where are you? Boom. Oh, I almost fucking forgot. Why'd I forget? So that, see, I'm taking the picture right on it. What is this to the left here? What did I tell you? Liquidity, breakout, imbalance, and breakout level. Right there. And the midnight level is right there. Look where I'm taking the picture. Overbought. Oh. Now that makes sense, right? Now that makes sense with my buy. That buy here. Why I circled it. We retrace back. I buy here. We snagged the late buyers here. Look at the breakout level. Remember where I bought? I bought right here. I already got out the trade. Look to the right. Oh, I know what they're doing right here. They're taking out the late buyers. Oversold. Beautiful, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Come on. Oh, that is it. I'm done, right? Oh, and then you see, oh no. Well, this is what they ended up. Yeah, this is what you last saw. Yeah, okay. Fucking move forward, bro. Okay, come on. What happened since then? That's the price action right there. 16th stopped. Oh, you don't fucking see. You don't see. Did we just bounce around in here and then just linger our way back down to this 16%? Or to this 16th, I'm sorry, not 16%. Also breakout area. I won't even get into all that. Look at the oversold and the 5 minute. Look at the 5 minute. Beautiful. Why are they doing this? And why am I involved? Because on Mondays, they have a lot to accomplish for the week. They want people to get involved. So they do these things. Okay. Look at this. Moving forward. Look at Dow. Fuck Dow. All right. All time. So that was another thing to also squeeze out. And we had this. I don't even know where to put it right now, but we'll just do it right here. Okay. And then we had higher highs here and higher highs there. And then I'm done. You think I'm fucking worried about the market or trading anymore? Hell no. Long lunch. So let's put it that way. Dollar. Whatever. Just still sitting in its spot. So nothing really important here. But besides, it shot up initially at 9 when we sold off, and then we've been kind of like coming back ever since, and then we've been pushing up. So that it was a little muddy there. VIX also pushed up here while we pushed down initially, and then they started pushing down while we were pushing up. So this little overbought here to the oversold was the run of where I got on board in the middle of it, not the whole thing, obviously, right? So whatever, not that helpful. And then Dow made an all-time high and then retraced back for quick liquidity and then mean reversion type of thing sitting in the middle. And then you can see here. So this was a speaker shakeout. See the origin? Look at it. You can see it. Very common at tops, right? So what's the logic? If nothing was on the chart, we just took out liquidity to the left. All the sellers here. After we did that, now we come up to wipe out the sellers here. That's Dow. All right. S&P, very similar. All right. Speaker there. Very similar story. Okay. Very similar story. And they just saved face, is what I used to say. And then you'll see here, going to seal that, go sweep above the current week gap, and then seal the opening range gap, and then play around here, and then finally find their footing to push back up for a new high. But look, if you look at this, just look at it, speaker, right? So These guys sold here. All right, we're getting money. Oh, we're buying here. Nice little inverted speaker, pennant. Okay, get liquidity here, get liquidity here. Push up, take everyone to the left. All right, guys, we made a new high. Who made money last? Sweep them. All the buyers. All right, guys, we swept all the goddamn sellers. What are we going to do? We're going to fucking buy. For what? The guys who sold here and made money. You need to have nothing on the chart. You don't need to have a bias. You don't need to have nothing. You don't need to know nothing. And you could have just done that. And then, we were up here. Yeah, fucking great. We bought. Yeah, we made money. Who made money last? Buyers. Retrace. You're like, dude, yeah, we get it. Okay. But okay. Where are you? 50 minutes. Fuck it. I knew it. Oh, this was something I was going to forget. And then to kick it all off, NVIDIA is pushing up and they created this gap. They were dangling this. And that's what it is. But very strong. Understood that when they were coming down here, we were talking about late buyers here. And sure enough, you see a shift of structure right here. All right. Come on. Move, bro. Move. Shift the structure right here. Boom. Lower, high. Low. Shift. Lower, high. I'm sorry, higher, low. Boom, right there. So when I already knew this before the day started. So that's why I was like, okay, hey, buddy. Remember to be flexible and understand that we going back up. And that's that. That's it. There's nothing else. I can say. Everything that I drew is actually still in effect, though. That was the last recent, and then this was the most recent. So what we did is we came back down, and we stopped, and we came back up for a new high. So, very nice. And then I'll tell you that everything is still in play, though. Everything is still in play. We're looking for a big sell-off. So as the month June, it goes sideways for the first week. Okay? And then we pull back down to what I was saying. So I'm going to draw this again. This is June 1st. All right? So let's do it this way. And it looks like the 30 year. The 30 year is winning over everyone, just so you know. So I'm going to say, what the fuck did I just do? Oh, shit. Here. So we made a new high right there. That's the first. Okay, cool. Now we do this. Kind of speakers out again. Maybe a new high or not. That's why I don't know. And then when it's the like the 5th, okay, we get to pull back. Don't know how far this goes. For now, I'm just going to say here, and this is the month of June. It's going to be very similar to what I've already drawn. And then that's it. Okay? Now, the magic question here is these lows, when they retrace, is it going to be here or is it going to be here? That's it. You guys take care and God bless.